I have a brief message for everyone. This is just something that I think is so important to remember, so I just want to kind of get this out to everyone. What tends to happen, and this is one of the weaknesses of the youth rights movement and the National Youth Rights Association, what tends to happen is people are young and they're frustrated and they're enraged at how they're treated and how their peers are treated, and then they get older and they grow up and they forget. Now, something that's very interesting about youth is everyone is at one time young. African Americans have been oppressed in this country. They were oppressed for many, many years. Women were oppressed and treated as second-class citizens, but only some people are women and only some people are African Americans. Every single person either is or was at one time a young person. On the other hand, African Americans will always be African Americans and women will always be women, but youth is transient. It goes away. It's short. Once you turn 18 or 21 or whatever age we want to call it, because we can't seem to decide on an exact age, you're not a youth anymore. You're not a young person in the eyes of society. And what tends to happen, and this doesn't happen with everyone, but what tends to happen is that we forget. We forget our experience as a young person. We forget what it was like to live under the conditions of a youth. And I have to tell you that that is the most dangerous thing we can do. That is the most detrimental thing that we can possibly do. It is sabotage to the youth rights movement. More important than anything else is remembering what it was like to be young. Because if you forget what it was like to be young, you will have done a great disservice to every person who was once, who will be, or who is young. Memory is one of your most powerful weapons in this war, in this battle. Never let yourself forget your experience. And you need to use the power of your voice to effect positive change. When you are no longer young, when you get older, if you remember the experience of being young, you have an amazing power. You have the power to create serious change, and you have the power to speak on behalf of the young people, to be an ambassador for the young people. You can walk into that adult world armed with the knowledge of what it was like to be young, and armed with the knowledge that you will never forget that experience. And if you tell yourself, if you become determined never to forget what it was like to be young, you can do something unimaginably amazing. You can serve as a representative of the young people. You can continue to serve as a voice of the young people. So often, youth rights activists and people who are interested in the rights of young people are asked, are you going to pursue this when you turn 18? Or is this just a hobby? Is this just something that you're doing until you are old enough to vote, or until you're old enough to drink, or until you're old enough to drive, or anything like that? The answer is no. It is our duty as young people, it is our duty as people who were once young, to answer that question with a resounding no. The answer is no. We will never forget what it was like to be young. We must grip onto that memory and never let it go. We must grasp it with all of our might and remember what it was like to be young. Because if we do not forget, no one can stop us from changing the world. Thank you.